And we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our talk show. The number one talk show in this room.
As I like to call it, our talk show after dark.
It's actually finally dark.
Yeah, it's finally dark
Almost.
outside.
November definitely will be after daylight savings.
Oh, yeah, it'll be fucking, by the time we do it, dark as shit. What is vibrating on my...
Is it your phone?
I don't think so. It might be. Us confangled new phones. It's got too many cameras.
It's for different reasons.
It's got like 5 cameras.
It has 3.
Well, technically 4. 3 on the back and then 1 on the front.
Yeah, but 2 will work at once and 1 works by itself.
That's dumb.
Well, when you're vlogging.
I'm going to start making TikToks again. Welcome back, everybody, and this is our talk show. Don't forget, we have audio versions on Anchor FM, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and wherever you get your podcasting needs. Don't forget to catch us on Tuesdays during Tuesday's show between the hours of 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. and Wednesday, which is right now, between the hours of 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Wow, I did that right the first time. Also, don't forget that it is October, and as such, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And our foundation is the Breast Cancer Awareness Foundation, which the link will be down below. Unfortunately, breast cancer claims just so many lives. Did you hear the First Lady's got breast cancer?
No.
Yeah.
Biden's wife?
Mm-hmm. So, DeSantis was talking about it this morning.
Our governor of Florida?
Yeah. Unfortunately, breast cancer gets daughters, mothers, sisters, and it's a real problem, It's one of those.
It's the one that moves, too.
Yeah, it's one of those diseases.
Go to a different part
Right.
of the body.
Well, cancer always can move.
Well, that's like the most common one to move, though.
Right. It's like cancer cells have the ability to
Reproduce.
start in one part of the body and move through the bloodstream and end up in another. Unfortunately, that's why,
Like Deadpool, get all those tumors.
Right. But it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month all month, so don't forget to check that out and support any way you can. Did you find us a
Yes,
stupid
I
law?
did. Today's stupid law comes to you from Kansas. No snowballs. It is illegal to throw a snowball.
See, you really? I'm pretty sure I'd have got.
Tupac,
I'm pretty sure when
Kansas, thanks to worldwide law in the city criminal code, is unlawful to throw any stones, snowballs, or any other missiles at a person or property in Topeka.
You know what probably happened? It probably got those motherfuckers who packed the snowball really tight and then either put them in the freezer, right, so they'd become hard, or like dip them bitches in water and then just left them out for a few minutes so they'd harden up. So people were probably like throwing like real legit shit snowballs at motherfuckers, so that I imagine that'd become a problem, Like, it's just, it's a joke. Next thing you know, you've been bludgeoned by because at that point, it's not a snowball anymore. It's a fucking ice cube.
It's a weapon.
Right, it's a weapon,
It's like when you freeze your fucking, what's it called?
Freeze eggs and throw it at people.
No, paintballs.
Right, yeah, that's rude.
That's totally rude.
But you know what? That stuff like that happens, like on paintball ranges and stuff. Like, if you got a guy who's just like every weekend's a dick,
Yeah.
People will freeze a whole round of paintballs and then bring it and just unload on that asshole.
They will.
Unfortunately, like competitive games like that, right, where it's like paintball or airsoft or stuff, it can turn violent very quick. Like, I've seen plenty of videos where people like just lose their shit, over a lot of different situations.
You've had airsoft wars.
It's a little different, like.
But not like them. Not with the CO2 or the fucking 9-volt battery.
I've seen motherfuckers in sniper rifles in full gear.
You can see the airsoft come out.
Right.
The pebble at high speeds.
Well, there's one guy, he's got a sniper rifle and it shows the X every time it hits somebody. Right? Like it shows the X when it connects with something.
Really?
Yeah, like as soon as it hits something, it shows like a little X. So that you've made contact with whatever.
Yeah, because those things are small.
Right.
But God, Brent's parents found it and threw all his airsoft guns away when he was like 18. Yeah, we had a trunk full. We had a shotgun, assault rifle. Because they were being dicks.
I mean, the biggest issue is like having a trunk full of airsoft guns if they don't have
they look like airsoft.
The orange tips.
The shotgun was orange itself.
Okay, well,
so
see
you can tell.
That sounds. Brent just seems like the type to like spray paint the end black.
We didn't.
Like, look at my piece.
But we had extra clips too because you hit on the handgun.
Yeah.
You hit the button and it falls out, so you had to go click, click.
You don't touch Pete's piece. That's, Oh, you never watched Briscoe County Jr., did you? So, what was he in? Okay, all right. You remember Bird Notice, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember the long-haired, like he had real long hair.
Is that my Burt Reynolds?
No, not Burt Reynolds. I wish I could remember the actor's name. He always plays like the radicalists, right? Like the cult leader, type guy. He's real skinny, got long hair, kind of got a lisp.
I think if I see him, I know.
I'll have to show you later. But in Briscoe County Jr., his name was Pete.
Such as gun.
Right, and his catchphrase was "Don't touch Pete's piece." Right, and Briscoe's was what? Briscoe was always throwing his fucking gun into the lake or, fucking taking it from him, and he was always upset. That's my piece. You don't touch Pete's piece.
It reminds me of the other guys when he took his gun away and gave him a wooden pistol. And every time he get kidnapped by the people, they would polish it up and put nice things on the wooden pistol because he did a desk pop.
Oh yeah.
So they gave him a wooden pistol, and every time they ran to the bad guys and like they kidnapped him or knocked him out, they like polished it.
Well, I remember.
So you might want to give him like a thank you note.
You remember Earth 2? Floyd Lawton was the worst shot in the whole fucking police station.
Earth 2.
Earth 2 and Flash.
Oh.
Deadshot
was the worst shot.
Was the worst shot in the whole police station. But he was what you call's partner, which just the police chief's partner, which was amazing. But it was the worst shot in the whole station.
He killed the police chief, I think it was.
Right, and Singh was a bad guy on Earth 2. He was a mob bob. No, it was Earth 2. He was a mob bob. Yeah.
Cisco was the mob bob in the Else world. Whenever he redid it again.
Well, he wasn't so much as a mob boss as because Barry didn't happen to Cisco, right?
Well, one he became rich, and the other one he was
right. That the one he became rich, he didn't have any right. He didn't have any connection to Barry. He had just took over from the original Wells who didn't die in that Earth.
That's because there was no Flash. Oh, there's no Ebon Thorne.
Right. And moved forward with his life and become rich and successful.
Sold apps he made.
Right. Which was cool to see that side of Cisco. And that Cisco wasn't vibe. He didn't have.
Nope.
He didn't have any powers.
He didn't.
No, he wasn't.
Didn't blow up.
He wasn't in the particle accelerator explosion.
There was none.
Well, it did still blow up in Flashpoint because everybody else got their powers.
He got his powers through lightning and. What was it? Nos. That's how Kid Flash got his powers.
Nos. No, he was messing with the chemical mixture of the Nos himself.
And then
the car was struck by lightning. But yeah, no, it's just crazy like how one little thing. That's like that What If, right? We've been watching for Disney Plus. What?
No, I gotta do something later on the computer.
If you didn't watch so much porno on it.
I don't.
See, that sounds like a thing a person who watches porno on their computer would say. What was I gonna say now until I lost my train of thought?
What If?
Oh yeah, so the What If series on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Right? It's actually a really great series.
I finished it. And
if you didn't already know, which I mean you probably already knew, but if you didn't already know, it was the last voiceover work that Chasman Boswick did before he passed. Right, before he passed away.
That's right.
He got to do Star-Lord, King Star-Lord, or Black Panther Star-Lord,
The one that saved the galaxies.
right, stuff before he had passed.
Oh,
You know, so they
he did
dedicated
that.
his whole episode to him, which, you know, was understandable. I like when Marvel does that, like dedicate, like remember when Stan Lee passed
They
away,
dedicated Captain Marvel.
and then Captain Marvel came out, and the beginning reel where it shows Marvel, it's normally all the heroes and stuff like that. It was all right. It was all his cameos from
Which
all
he was
from
with the
all the years.
Watchers.
Right.
The Guardians of the Galaxy, when they went through the dimensions. He was he was telling them stories. And he had the dog with him.
Right.
The one that was in the collectors. There's so many Easter eggs in that.
Right.
Someone went through, I think, a Rockstar YouTube channel. I think went through the whole Infinity War or Infinity Saga.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a 2-hour Easter egg hunt. How they connected every single movie together. One was Iron Man always upgraded his armor.
Right.
In every single movie.
Every movie had a new. Like
he did nanobites.
For the last couple.
After Civil War and Infinity War. Oh yeah, after Civil War is because Ant-Man went in the opening.
Right.
So that's why he did nanobites.
That was the last time that
was the
happened.
last time something was going. Yeah, he kept upgrading his armor because there'd be something wrong with it, and no one noticed it until the first movie when he was, "What'd you do about the icing?" Because he went too high
and hit the motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit
so
Obadiah.
He asked, "What did you do about the icing?" So from that point on, every time you're into a problem, he fixed it.
Right.
He went to the next thing.
Right. Well, that
was one of the Easter eggs. All his mocks or whatever is because he kept fixing whatever problem the previous one had.
Well, and then so like the third one, it was a big problem because there was so many. You know, he was on Mark 47. The suit that would come to him.
What was it? The Prodigal Son.
Right, and that thing had. I think my favorite bit is when he blew that bitch up. Jarvis, blow Mark 47, and then like he jumps off the fucking. You know,
he goes to the other guy because he goes like this to him, and he sends all the gear to him.
Right.
He's like,
always.
What do you call it? Oh, Merry Christmas.
Right, Christmas mode.
Or whatever it was, and all of them blew up.
The Good Night Christmas protocol.
And he still built more. Because after that, he built.
Right, but that's when the.
He built Hulkbuster.
That's when the. No.
Yeah.
Miriam was before. Before 3. 3 was after New York. It was
straight in Avengers. Oh, yeah, but Civil War was Hulkbuster.
No, Hulkbuster wasn't until Ultron.
Civil War. No, I mean, Ultron, which was after 3. Because everyone's like, because then we had Captain America, then we had Ultron, everyone's like, when did Tony get another Iron Man suit since he took the thing out?
Well, I mean, he was talking to. He said
talking to Bruce.
He said him and Bruce, you know, built the suit.
Like, I'm not that kind of doctor.
Right.
And that little kid showed up in the funeral. That was another Easter egg.
Well, I mean, technically, he was supposed to become the next Tony Stark.
Well, no, in the comics, it's some girl, Iron Maiden.
There is a version of the comics and the cartoons where it's a teenage boy. I mean, his name's still Stark.
It's King. In the future, in the Young Avengers, the guy who took one of the versions of King was Iron Man.
I mean, that's the thing about the multiverse. It'd be all over the fucking place.
It was, because when we were watching Loki, they did a whole thing about Kang, and out throughout the whole thing. Because Kang is connected to the multiverse, connected to the What If, connected to Doctor Strange, Venom, Spider-Man.
Did you see the last What If?
Yeah.
I thought it was really fucked up. It was all conditioned around.
What's his name? Stealing the fucking gems.
Right, but no, it's not just that. It's like so. You know, Captain Carter is the one that defeated him with Black Widow. Like they pretty much crossed his ass up.
Oh yeah, for what's his name to steal the gems.
Right,
for them to go back and forth. Yeah.
Strange was holding him off. Right, and he did it.
Spoilers.
Knowing right? That his ass still wasn't leaving that pocket universe. They were just going with him, right? And he realized it right at the end, you know, when
He trapped him.
Warmonger and
What's his name?
Vision tried to go at it over the stones again.
And they got trapped in the universe.
Right. They closed, he realized, he's like, wait, I know the end of this.
And he closed
And
them.
and he closed him in after the Watcher paused him.
He's like,
So
this is the whole time.
the plan was never to defeat him. It was to lock him up.
To get, what's his name, to portray him, to get the gem.
Right. To get the gems away from Ultron so he couldn't
Change the world.
do what he was thinking of doing.
Since the beginning, when he was holding Ultron's helmet.
Right. So.
And she's like, I don't want to go back to that time.
I like that he took
my
her.
time.
I like that he. Well, no, he didn't. He took her to another universe.
No, I'm talking about Captain Carter. She didn't go back to the future. She went back to the past.
Right.
She went to go get with Steve.
Well, no. She went back to the future.
No, then he brought her to a different time.
He brought Natasha to a different different universe, and then he took her back to her time, saying he couldn't take her back in time, and that's when
they found. That's right. Iron Man suit.
The Iron Patriot, or not the Iron Patriot,
the suit that they used in the first episode.
I can't remember. Yeah, but that's not what they call it. It was called something else. It was the something Buster. The shield, not the Shield Buster, the Hydra Buster.
The one that Tony Stark, his dad made.
Right. That what you call it was Rogers was operating.
Oh, they're thinking because he fell off. He did Bucky. So they're thinking that Hydra took him instead of Bucky and made him young. And made him the Winter Soldier.
I just think they locked his ass up in that suit. I imagine that'll be, play for season 2.
Yeah, which is what if it's based off the comic series.
But Disney and Marvel and LucasArts and stuff, they're doing a lot of things now. It's like where LucasArts before Disney bought them just went stagnant.
There's the games.
Like, right, they were doing
Force Awakens.
They were doing games here and there. But they were really sitting still as far as creative visual content that wasn't
the last movie he made was
game related.
The last movie he made was Force Awakens.
Right. So.
And then Disney did the other two.
Right.
Plus New Hope, plus Han.
And then Disney took over. And
Mandalorian.
A lot of content came from that.
They just released something, of Disney.
So they actually released a couple things, which I'm sure Bo's probably already watched.
Something about.
One was it Bad Batch? Right. I haven't watched it yet, but I assume it was about a bad batch of clones, right? Because clones are on the cover.
So I heard the backstory was that they gave a whole bunch of different creators and animators right to use Star Wars.
No,
and it wasn't about.
That was the other thing they did.
Line. Oh, so this is a different one.
Right. There's another one they did like that, and it's basically a bunch of small mini stories.
That had nothing to do with the main
series.
Had
nothing to do with the series, or even the timeline. Like
it's just lore.
One of them was about they were in like ancient Japan. Like everything was ancient Japan.
Yeah, the duel.
Right. Except for there was aliens, and stormtroopers and fucking. They had big rail guns and things like. The only difference was most of the technology was not with the time. Everything just looked that way.
Like Wakanda kind of thing.
Right, basically. It looked unassuming and, tribish, but it was all advanced.
Like they're on the Wookiee planet.
Right. And that fight was great, in my opinion.
Duel, it's called Duel, right?
Yeah.
I heard.
He fucked her up,
But there's
she thought she had him.
Bad Batch? Another series?
No, it's not. But what are you talking about?
You said Bad Batch, so it was a different.
Right, a Bad Batch.
Show.
It's supposed to. I guess it has to do with like the clones and stuff like that. Like, a batch of the clones. I'd imagine. I haven't seen it. No, like the stormtroopers, like the original clones.
Boba Fett's clones.
Right. Well, And that's the thing, right? So like that's what gets a lot of people confused.
For the first clones.
Right. Well, they try to explain the clones from 4, 5, and 6. Right? With 3, you know,
Well,
because
the
it's
last clones were in 1, 2, and 3.
no,
And then
there were no
started-
clones yet in 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, 2 and 3. Sorry,
They,
2 and 3 is Attack of the Clones.
well, I mean, yeah, I
But
guess 3
the
is 2.
stormtroopers in the future were actually raised to be stormtroopers, like
But-
the babies.
Enough of all this. We're 20 minutes in, haven't even started news.
Shit!
We start the news today.
You want the news?
I'd like the news today.
Restaurant and hotel workers are quitting their jobs at a rate that's more than twice the record national average.
That actually, I think, plays in with another one that was down there. I kind of wanted to combine the two news about the child. Parents are quitting their jobs because the government's paying that $300 child
Okay. So there's another.
thing.
Here it is.
And I don't understand
Child
how
tax credit could spur $1.5 million parents to leave the workforce. Study says.
I don't understand how parents leave. The $300 a month is not enough to live on
Is it 3?
in anywhere. Yeah, it's only $300 a month per child.
Per child? Yeah, we have 3 children.
That's still only $900 a month. That's you know,
Extra.
unless you're making moves and buying drugs with that $900 a month,
It's not. You shouldn't. That pay your
You know,
rent.
I wouldn't pay your rent. Not here in South Florida, at least.
Well, if your husband's working and and the wife's not,
Like maybe pay your rent, you know, in
or pay your
Oklahoma or something, like
don't pay
someplace
daycare.
in Detroit, right? Detroit has a lot of abandoned cities, abandoned houses and stuff like that because nobody lives in Detroit anymore.
It was expanded $2,000 per child, as much as $3,600.
Well, if it's $2,000 per child, you got
well, no,
4 or 5.
the
I know a
checks
guy
from
who's
July
got.
to December is $300.
Like-
It's basically half of what the child tax credit.
I know a
is.
guy who's got 15 children.
Yeah, it only goes up. You can only do 3.
Right, so like if he's got 15 children, and he's getting $2,000 a child.
He's quitting.
You know, he made bank this year and doesn't need to work till next. Like,
But no,
that's-
it's not enough to quit though.
you know. But as far as, you know, quitting your jobs and stuff like that, like, you know, I don't know. I got to work and make money. I got my wife take care of me, but I still try to, if I have
Unless-
opportunity to make money, I still try
During this
to.
pandemic, people all start businesses, and that's why they're not working.
I mean, a lot of people have, you know, started cleaning businesses and computer tech businesses, and a lot of people want to work for themselves because that's the dream rather than trying to work for somebody else. Now, if you've already got everything you need, house, car, stuff like that, and it's all paid off and you're content, well, then you can go work at, you know, the hardware store for, you know, 20, 30 hours a week, make a few bucks for some groceries and some weed and be done with it. You know, like that's what a lot of old people do. They get their, you know, they get their little bit from the government each month for disability, and then they work 5, 6 hours here and there just to make a few extra bucks for,
Sure. I want them
some-
work for me.
right, for some, you know, and it's like that. You know, we get into that argument about attitude and time and stuff like that all the time, right? Like the argument about the guy was just like, well, there's ain't shit to do or shit that I want to do here, so I'm gonna leave. Right? You have to take that into consideration when dealing with people as a boss. Right? It's like you're not going to make your 90-year-old worker who is just working the job, you know, as much as she can to make a few bucks.
They did their time.
Go clean the bathroom, are you?
No.
The fuck no. Well, first off, she wouldn't do it. There's
How'd it
no
go?
way. No offense, right? But I know this woman. And if you told her to go clean the bathroom,
Who?
right?
Janet?
Mom,
She cleaned it.
right? No.
She went
Would
to go
she?
with her.
Oh, that's nicer than me because I'm pretty sure she'd have told Johnny to go fist herself. You know, like
She's like, I'll tell you how to clean it. Come with me.
that's right. You know,
Fuck.
I don't know. It's like I'm 90 years old. I'm
Well, no,
not.
I
I'm
had
not going to
a guy
clean.
named John. One of my bosses hired him. He was on the bowling team. He was on retirement.
Right.
He worked so many hours. So he worked the drive-in. That's security. And then one time, like, we got shorthanded with trash, and he's out there cleaning. I'm like, "What are you doing, John?" He's like,
Just trying to be helpful.
It's like it has to get done. And he goes to try to lift the trash bag. I was like, no, stop it. He's
Before
like,
you hurt
that's
yourself.
a young person's job.
Yeah.
If you want to sleep, sleep, but don't pull the trash. I was like, you did your time. And then I called over some new guy, and I was like, pull the trash.
Don't fuck
he's like,
up.
what about John? I was like, John did his time.
See, we used to have a system, right? Like when we did the trash at the market and stuff like that. Okay, you swept towards garbage cans because there was a lot more garbage cans than there is
now.
now.
We're rolling trash cans.
Right, but before each corner used to have
Yes, we had to sweep towards the trash cans.
the big trash cans. So you'd sweep towards the trash cans, and at the end of the day, one person would start, at one side and start tying them up and throwing them next to the trash cans and putting the new bag in for the next day. And then the guy with the trailer would ride by, scoop them up, throw them in the back,
and then go to the dumpster.
And then go to the dumpster and throw them all away. You'd let the first guy go 10, 15 minutes ahead of you because you needed time. If you went right behind him, you'd just be driving next to him.
Throw it in.
Well,
at one point we had two people in the car. That's what they do. Drive by, one would tie it, throw it in, one would tie, put it on, go.
You don't need two people. The one guy.
And I say me.
I used to grab it and just chuck it over my shoulder right into the cart.
But now people are quitting. Either it's because some of them it's the corona. Because
a lot of people are stressed out too. You've got a lot of managers who are just bugged the fuck out as it is because
they're not paying what they're supposed to be paying.
Because they don't have the manpower for the jobs that they're trying to do. No. Companies aren't willing to pay for the manpower in some situations. Right.
As the manager, like, why isn't this place clean? Like, I'm low.
It's
because
just,
no one wants to work here.
Right. It's just me here.
Yeah, like.
Right. And
figure it out.
Even if I could hire people, you only want so many people on staff, on call, on what, and you don't want to pay any more than you already pay, even though most of your jobs, right, are moving up the pay just to get bodies in the door. So they have,
I'm with it and against it.
Because that's like, think about it.
Because if I couldn't get you to do anything for $7 or $8 an hour, fuck, you could do it $10 an hour. Same thing you would do at $8 an hour, which is nothing. Makes me mad. I'm going to pay you more to do nothing.
Try me at 15. I may do some more stuff.
Well, no, I can't get you to do nothing for 10. What are you going to do at 15? The same thing you do at 10. Entitled motherfuckers.
That's not true.
Nah. But no, back in the day it was different. Now I understand. Like, everything's gone up, so you can't help it.
Right.
Taxes, fucking milk, everything. You can't live.
But it's like if you're only
back in the day when it was different, like, I remember some employee was just selling tickets, making the same as Brent doing landscaping.
Right.
It's like, oh, we need more money. Like, you need more money. You're just standing here selling tickets. My employee's out there cutting grass, making the same as you.
Well, but okay, so you're not
at that time.
Think about it this way, right? Yes, they're standing there just selling tickets, but they're also dealing with money. So now you're paying for loyalty.
Well, no, I'm still watching them.
Well, that may be true, but you're still paying for loyalty. Where the other guy, well, you don't care if he steals your grass. You're actually encourage it.
More for him and your label than just selling tickets.
Well, yes, they should be paid more because they're out in the hot sun and doing physical labor. Okay, but that
was the point.
It's how do you quantify, right? Who deserves what for what?
It depends
right?
What kind of, if it's a mediocre job or entry job, you
right.
get entry.
There was a guy, right, on TikTok who tried to break it down for people. He said, "Listen, okay, I've been to school. I have special training. I've got 5 or 6 years of schooling in this field, in this position. If you start paying Burger Mike the same amount that I make for being, after I've spent so much time on education, school, stuff like that,
it's like pre-work.
Then what's the point of me getting my education?"
It's true.
Right?
No, I totally agree.
Okay. The thing.
But then they don't want to hire you because you're asking too much. So
right.
They're going to hire someone below you.
Or you've been too long in that field, so you're making too much now, and because you have no school, like what they did to Cindy. Well, you got a comment or something?
Yeah, someone named M. Davis says, Companies should pay same salary for all across the board.
And in a perfect world, that would be nice, but you wouldn't pay. You
The
wouldn't.
manager the
You
same as the
wouldn't pay
worker.
the receptionist, right? The same as you're paying the CFO or the accounts manager, right? Somebody who's dealing with your money all day long. You
Don't
know,
fuck with that guy.
like that's like Cindy, right? Remember what happened to Cindy? She
Happened to
was
my mom.
she was in her company for 20-some years, gained all of her raises, stuff like that. And then when she tried to go find a position in the same field that she already knew how, they wanted to hire younger, right? Because they wanted to have their own person for 30, 40 years. Or she made too much and didn't want to pay her that and wouldn't even discuss her coming in at an entry-level salary for that position. You know, so you have to think it's all in flux.
Yeah.
Right? It's what somebody's willing to pay you.
No, it's true.
You know, that's like they tell you when you go to become a scientist, right? You got to get your doctorates. Well, that's normally about 8 to 10 years. It takes time. What?
No.
Is there more comment?
No.
Oh, it takes time. You know, it's not just something that, hey, I'm gonna do and bang, overnight it's done. You know, and then they only pay you so much if you're working in fields that they needed worked on. You know. What's all that clicking over there? What's our next news?
Oh, I was about to say something.
You were about to say something?
Well, that did to my mom too. She was an accountant at this place for 15, 20 years. They decided to hire a young college kid over her. A young college kid over her because he had a college degree in that field and they could pay him less.
Right.
So they fired him.
Because he was new.
But now it made him look good on paper because we hired a college degree.
Right. Rather than somebody who's
already there.
Who
She
been
did the same thing. She hit her max.
right.
They didn't want you to do that.
She'd have been doing right. And as soon as you tell an employer, hey, I've got 20 years experience in this,
They don't want to hire you.
they don't want to hire you because which to me makes no fucking sense. Right? If you've got I would prefer the more experience, right, over the.
No, I would too, but in their minds, like, we can't mold you because you're stuck in your ways.
Old dogs can't learn new tricks.
That's what they fear, because you're gonna come in and be like, whatever you learn there at the other company, you're gonna try to drag into this company.
I mean, but again, if you have smarter ways to do things, that's what I want. I don't want. But a lot
usually it comes with headhunting. People come and find you. Like, that's like CEO jobs and hedge fund shit. Like,
and then it's like, well, why aren't you with your company? And well, the company sold or moved, or they,
or my company. If you're there too long, everyone steals, and actually don't trust anyone over 15 years.
Right? Like,
I'm like, fuck, I'm at 15. She's not gonna trust me now.
Well, and
they always would rather young. To be honest, well, for my job, I would hire young people because it's exhausting work sometimes.
But that's just like that, right? So just like that situation, all right. She doesn't trust anybody to work over 15 years.
Because eventually they.
Well, maybe if she didn't pay everybody goddamn peanuts.
It's never her fault.
They own
the business.
She's
stuck in her
treat their 15-year employees like garbage.
And the new one's like.
It
would kill me too, because you would fire me and hire someone no experience at higher pay.
Right.
Yeah. Because no one else is gonna do it for you. Like, it's so stupid. The next one says Miami mayor says plan advancing to pay city employees in Bitcoin.
What?
That's one of the things, and that's all I got because you have to have a subscription.
That just sounds crazy.
Yeah, but were you paying a percentage in Bitcoin? Like,
like
one Bitcoin, that's $50,000.
I guess that's true. I would imagine like.
But that would be bad too, because that means the currency goes up and down.
Right.
One day it could be 47,000.
Once a year,
I don't like that.
Here you go. Here's a Bitcoin. That just doesn't sound like a good idea.
It doesn't.
You know, maybe as like a 401k type thing. You know,
Maybe like retirement.
like here's a 1% of one Bitcoin, and then when you get to one Bitcoin or whatever, you can like cash it out.
Oh, it sucked up. It dropped.
Right. Well, it's like even Tesla stopped taking it. You know.
Yeah, he dropped out of that.
Elon Musk, which well, that's because people were just like, you know what, I got like 30 Bitcoins. Let me go buy a Tesla outright, and then turn around and sell it. Or they were taking. So what they were doing is they were buying Teslas, and then putting them on the ride sharing apps, where you can like rent a car for so much a day.
Oh yeah.
You know. Right. Well, because they've only got you know they only need their one car really. So if they bought 3 Teslas with Bitcoin, now it's basically money laundering if you think about it.
Oh yeah, exchanging this to the.
You know, you're changing fake currency for real currency.
And Bitcoin only valuable if it can be exchanged for dollars.
Right.
Because at one point, once if it can't.
You know, so that's the big kicker. That's why people were doing that. They were like, well, I can buy. Hey, I got this Bitcoin, right? I can buy 2 or 3 Teslas. Now the Teslas are making me money every day.
You can lease it out to other people.
Right. I mean, the big trick is to figure out how to turn a little bit of money into a lot of bit of money, and then keep it passive.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Passive income, like you always say. You know, it's like with the ATMs, right?
Income.
It seems like it's a little bit of money because you're only making like $3 or $4 a transaction, right? But once you've got 6, 7, 10 ATMs, and now they're all doing so much a day because you've put them in key areas where it's a common occurrence for need cash, like the people who bought ATMs and put them in the dispensary. You do.
The ATM people?
No. You are the ATM person. You have to take money out of the bank, cash out of the bank, and put into the ATM. But when they withdraw the cash from the bank, from the ATM, right, when they take the cash out, it takes the cash they took out plus the fee, right? So if they take out 20, right, you get 23 back.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
If you got 160, you get 163 back.
Right. You know, or 160, 250, whatever, because I've seen ATMs range from like $1.50 to $3, $4.
$3.
You know, if you go to places like the amphitheater and stuff like that, or go to concerts, it's normally a little more because they know you're gonna fucking pay it, right?
You need cash now,
right? But cash is slowly dying off because a lot of places don't use it. So
they're using Apple Pay. They're using
right. Your best bet is to go to like
app.
So like here, right? What they did is they started moving them into marijuana dispensaries.
Smart.
Because marijuana dispensaries were only taking cash and having to use separate banks that weren't federally governed because of the way it was set up.
Oh.
So they were only taking cash. So they had to put ATMs inside, dispensaries so you can just get cash out. It's all how to make,
baby.
People nowadays want to spend money over time to make money, but then once it's set up and going, it's pretty much
well-defined machine.
Like there's still work to be done, right? You still have to go take money out, refill machines.
The same thing if you own property, you still got to fix the property.
Right.
Stuff like that. Get loans to fix
upkeep with the property, check with the tenants to make sure nothing's broken.
Making meth.
Well, that normally if you keep in close contacts with your tenants, right? Like you see, hey, the sprinkler head's broken. Let me go fix the sprinkler head. Oh, look, your doorknob fell off. That's my job as a tenant owner is to make sure the fucking doorknobs are working.
Well, there's so much that's buy a duplex, live in one, and charge the rent of the mortgage on the other one, so you get free rent.
Well, and even there, right? It's like so the mortgage for the place, you got to think they want to make a little bit, so they got a little bit of cash,
Well, if you're already working, you save up your money then.
Right.
You don't got to pay rent.
And they also want to pay the mortgage off.
What I'm saying, if you live in a duplex, all you do is charge the mortgage.
Right.
Because you're working still.
I don't know. Being a landlord just seems like hard work too. All right, what's next?
Vending machines.
Vending machines, yeah.
It's good business.
Who
Let's
did?
see,
Who's
M.
she?
Davis.
Oh. How do you know it's just...
They. I don't know.
Was it on Twitch? YouTube?
YouTube.
Uh-oh.
NCIS's Gibbs is leaving. Is that what it says? Yeah.
I thought he already left.
Huh?
I mean, Gibbs is,
18 seasons.
We talked about that the other day, like working in shows versus movies. And he's a main character. That's going to be a hard one to do. Like, you wouldn't replace Flash.
We've hard worked. It's time to fucking end it.
Or like...
We're done 18 seasons. Okay, you're good, bro.
18 seasons.
You're not Law and Order.
There's a few shows...
Not Law and Order.
A few shows that, What's Law and Order up to?
20-something.
I mean, Top Gear, my favorite show, was at 22 before it ended.
SNL's at 50, 40.
Right, but SNL inherently is a gateway for comedians. Right, comedians and actors and stuff like that, because you get a lot of actors who start off in SNL, and that's how they get seen and stuff like that, and they'll act,
He made buku fucking money.
Keenan actually, went from acting and doing stuff like that and just went to SNL because that seemed like the place he needed to be.
Well, he's in sketch comedy. So
right. That's the shit he enjoyed. He was on
Victorious.
Starting out on. He's been on a lot of stuff in movies and things like that. Like it's not like he doesn't work. He works.
He said he got to do the iconic thing on SNL. He was next to Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, and Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
I went in the monologues. He's like, I just stood there. It was still a great night. They're doing some kind of black thing, and some white guy comes up. And he's like, no. He pushes the white guy out of the way.
Which is just crazy though, because like he's a big star in his own right.
Yeah.
It's
Keenan.
Right. It was in a lot of our childhoods and stuff like that.
Was he in? Was it Black Jeopardy? Yeah, Black Jeopardy.
He was playing. I can't remember his name now.
Playing the host.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Trebek.
No, not Trebek.
Steve Harvey.
Well,
that's Family Feud.
Yeah, I think it was Steve Harvey and
Family Feud too, probably. Yeah. But he did.
All right, moving on.
Goodbye, Gibbs.
Goodbye, Gibbs. Thanks for playing.
Let's see. Florida fines county $3.5 million for requiring proof of vaccination.
What?
Yeah, and I can't see it because they want me to be
subscribed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good. That just doesn't sound like. I don't know that you should fine the county.
Unless it's county workers.
I don't know. That's all screwy and politicky. They don't normally do politics. I believe you should at least wear your mask. Like, that's the thing. A lot of people don't want to wear masks. I wear mine. If that's the choice you want to have, make your choice. Just don't breathe on me. Like, you have to respect my boundaries as well, I think. Like, you don't have to stand right on top of me in a line.
You shouldn't be doing it anyway.
Right, like.
Ew.
Well, what happens is people think lines are like being out in traffic. Right.
No, car length's fine.
Right, like like a car in the car line, they say you're supposed to leave at least a car length, right? So if somebody rear ends you, you don't rear end the motherfucker in front of you.
I'm not here in Florida.
Nobody does that. And it's very few places that they do that. Only in like small towns because there's not that much traffic. But here, if you do that, you'll be backed up 3 blocks, 5, 6 blocks, just on car length.
And if you're in school zone,
oh yeah,
you have to go 20 miles an hour.
And the thing is they say that the traffic moves better when it moves together, right? So if you leave about 5 foot, right, and are paying attention to the light and all go at the same time, traffic flows better. But that's not what happens. what happens is the front guy's on his phone, right? Checking his phone, light turns green. Now everyone's honking,
So rude.
Trying to get going. And the first, 5 people get to go through the light. Then the next 30 get caught by the light because it took longer than it had to. Because it still takes time for those 5 cars to get going. So it's a pain in the dick. I hate traffic in Florida. Try going down to Miami on any type of day.
Oh, Miami? Mm-mm.
Remember we were watching that show about that guy who was pushing drugs and then turned into a race car driver? They were driving through the streets of Miami.
It sounded like a movie.
Could you imagine going traffic down in Miami on that day with all those people?
They closed it off.
That's like with the Dolphin Stadium. Every Sunday when they do a game there, it's just mad traffic coming in and out of there.
It's horrible.
Like, it's crazy. What are you looking at? What do we got?
More news? You sent me them. 2 Eagles fans busted by cops after woman caught in men's bathroom stall. A couple of Eagles fans went viral over the weekend as a video after their bathroom rendezvous was interrupted by police presence.
I don't think. I know what the charge would have been. They'd have got him for indecent exposure. Even though when the cops pulled him out of there, they were both fully dressed. They were probably doing cocaine or something in the bathroom together.
They weren't doing cocaine.
Were they having sex? I mean, that's a thing. I guess they were in a bathroom stall, so I don't really see how it's anyone else's business. I don't know.
There were no arrests.
There was no arrest.
No.
Because the video, it looked like they at least put him in handcuffs and walked him out.
They walked him out. Female inside.
You get kicked out of
After locating the male and female involved, they were asked to leave the property for violating Bank of America stadium policy.
Well, nobody did they get at the door? Hey, no sex. Was that a thing that was said at the door? Right? Because I feel like I'd be, But the stuff that happens at stadiums, people get away with it all. I got kicked out for calling a guy sir one time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Things are real.
5 officers escorted me out for calling a guy sir.
Here I did put this news.
Because what?
It's the other one.
What?
I saw it yesterday, but I didn't put it in the news.
Why? Too racy?
No, just the new Superman comes out as bisexual in the new comic.
Oh yeah.
I saw that yesterday.
I was just thinking, based on his character design, he was that way the whole time.
He Lois Lane.
Old regular guy.
I just watched the new Justice movie.
Does he get his ass kicked in that?
No, he kicked everyone else's ass.
Superman, finally?
People dying.
Are you fine? I hope this one's a lot stronger than, our regular Superman. Because that's just what he is, regular old Superman.
You've seen the Injustice.
I know, he's just always getting his ass whooped.
No, Injustice.
Which one? The game?
The game.
The first one or the second one?
What's the first one? What did he do?
Well, the first one,
Who did he kill?
But that wasn't Superman.
Superman killed the Joker.
Or that wasn't the Justice League, that was the Justice Lords.
No. Injustice on Earth 22.
Uh-huh.
Superman killed the Joker.
Right.
You saw the whole clip.
Right,
That's
right.
the movie.
That's all it's about.
It's the Injustice franchise.
I just don't understand how when he's bad, he's a lot stronger than the good guy.
Because he's not holding breath.
The
good guy came.
Yeah,
One.
But
He beat his ass too.
I just don't. Did he come from Earth 1?
This is Earth 22, Injustice. Earth 1 came to try to help talk him out of it. That didn't work.
I don't know.
Beat the crap out of him. He goes, I know your secret. You're holding back. And he beat the fuck out of him.
To me, once we get past your superpowers, your story is your own. Okay? If you want to be gay, straight,
You, buddy.
right, that's your sexual preferences as a superpower are your own.
Cheating on Lois.
Are your own.
Football was his life. Maryland High School.
Did I send you
Maryland
that one?
High School player.
Yeah, apparently.
Dies from injuries sustained in the game.
Passed away from his injuries and stuff like that.
Wow. 17.
Football is a high contact sport.
He's taken to the hospital.
What happened? Rib punctured his lung.
Doesn't say.
That's
It
what I would
says
imagine happened.
he's a wide receiver. It was during a game against Dunbar High School on September 18th that he was injured and taken to the hospital. His mom by his side. I can't put into words, and I'd be able to hug him, kiss him, text him, see his eye. It doesn't
That's
say
just sad.
what his injuries were.
Yeah.
He's 17.
And it's just like that. It's an accident. You can't,
No,
You're
it was, yeah.
playing a game and something went wrong. It's just, it's a sad thing that, it's crazy that stuff like that happens.
It's when you're playing football, and
It was amazing.
then you're not with us anymore. I hate that shit.
It's-
It always freaks me out.
You never know.
Well, because it's not planned. I understand if you have cancer or something like you work
His
your way
plan,
up to it.
cancer is never planned.
Well, no, I'm saying, but when you find out and you work your way up to whatever happens, or old age, or
I don't
I
know.
was in the hospital in and out.
But you walk out this door to
But
go
you
get
just
your
gotta walk out and
go
hit by a
get your
jet plane.
right.
Like I can't.
That poor
There's
girl
no
in
time to prepare.
Lake Worth. Remember, she's in her room studying, taking a nap.
because she had a headache.
Fucking plane flew in through a window.
The whole room. It's a big plane.
Right.
On
Like
fire.
it's just
Burned her alive.
you never. That's why they tell you always hug your loved ones, tell them you love them.
You're on borrowed time.
That's it.
That's so sad.
That is sad. Playing football.
See, those kind of things that make me feel like the Illuminati or someone from the future does something with the timeline. Like this person had to die because 70 years from now or some bullshit.
Sad state of affairs.
Next one is
Hearts go out to you.
It does. So sad. Man rents 10-foot truck, drives over 500 miles home after Southwest cancels thousands of flights.
Oh yeah, so
That man.
I saw this one and
This
sent it
reminds
to
me
you.
of Home Alone.
Right.
She was in the moving trucks getting home.
Right. So I guess because flights go out, first thing people do is they're like, well, I got to get to where I got to go.
How do you celebrate breast cancer month?
Celebrate.
That's what his person Yoko Yuki said.
You support it.
Celebrate.
I mean, I guess realistic. Well, because there are people who
Celebrate
beat
survivors.
right. There are people who beat breast cancer, and yes, you would celebrate those people who made it through. So it really depends on how you're looking at it at that point in time.
Yoko.
So
this guy got canceled. So he rented a truck
right.
instead of a car.
Well, you probably couldn't find any cars.
No rental cars were available to drive outside of Dallas.
Right.
And booking another airline would have cost $1,800.
Right, but U-Haul
He
is
spent
as everywhere.
$900 on the rental truck and fuel.
That's still a lot.
Well, he's going from
18
he
to
flew
not have.
Kansas City,
So-
Missouri to Dallas, and he had to make it back home. So from Dallas to Kansas, I guess he drove. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's
That's crazy. People don't play it. It's like I said, it reminds me of Home Alone when she had to get home to her son. Did you know they're remaking it on Disney Plus?
what, Home Alone?
Yeah, and the trailer dropped.
Well, they made a
Southwest Airline
oh.
operate.
Jesus.
It took place by itself.
Can you get your shit together?
It's the website, man. It's not my fault.
But no, still like it's resourceful, Unfortunately, that was the smallest truck you could probably get.
Yeah.
It was the 10-foot truck. The worst part is if he was smart about it, he would have found somebody else going that way
Paid half.
and paid half. Like I understand it seems scary to take a random person with you
Yeah. What's your
for,
credit score?
900 miles, but it's like, or 14,000, depending on where he was going.
Dallas to Kansas.
So pretty far. I think it's
Stayed
about,
away.
I think it's about 1,600. No, you don't pay $1,800 for a state,
Well, it'd be a layover somewhere. You fly to somewhere else to fly this way.
which means you'd be saving time then too. So, which is,
I don't know, but they remade Home Alone. You should watch the trailer after this. It's
Not Macaulay Culkin.
it's
You know,
our last.
I mean, there's like 5 or 6 Home Alones, to be
this
honest.
is the remake thing, like Home Alone, Never Not Alone, or something.
And you know, it's Macaulay Culkin and Joe Pesci, right? Like, how do you replace? I can't remember the tall guy's name.
Well, the bad guys are a man and woman couple.
You know, see, I don't.
He hits him with the. He shoots. In the trailer, he shoots a fucking pool ball out of a CO2 cartridge thing. I was like, that guy would have died.
I forget what. I think it was MythBusters or
the guy would have died.
one of the shows that I watch. They went back and like started recreating all of the traps, and started counting up how many deaths.
He's a sociopath.
You know,
He could have called the cops.
right? And then
He knew when they were coming. Like, you could have set a whole sting operation up. Are you fucking kidding me?
ran to a neighbor's, you know,
I'm saying the
something.
phone don't work. That he called the cops up there and went to the treehouse. I don't know, bro. He hurt them first, then called the cops.
Really, just
Fucking sociopath.
really messed with
Then
him.
again, in New York, again, they could have set up a sting to raid the toy store. Like,
You know,
nope. He let him rob him first.
had to do what he had to do.
Our last news is that William
Revenge.
Shatner is the oldest person to be in space.
So I think, right when I was watching it, I think he only went up to like the stratosphere and then came back.
Still counts.
You know, it still counts, especially at his age.
He didn't
Right.
go through all those tests.
But no, I don't think he.
Steve, his heart could survive. Yeah, he still had to do something.
You know, they probably put him through the G-force thing once
You good?
and watched his heart. You know, because that's a lot of G's going up. You know, it's not just
He's
like,
been in space. He's Captain Kirk.
yeah. That's true now.
He's gone when no man's gone before.
That's definitely true now.
The Russians like, we're making a movie in space. Oh yeah, we're putting Captain Kirk in
We're gonna
space.
send Captain Kirk.
He's
up.
gonna be like, where are we now?
Had to do something, right? Had to do something.
And that's all the time we got for today.
Is that it? Is that all the news?
That's all the news, and we hit our 1 hour mark.
Did we? We made it. That's it. That's an hour.
That's an hour.
That's an hour. She's it.
That's it. Time fucking. Oh, it's past an hour. You gotta pay for time now.
Oh shit! Now we're
$5 an hour.
Ooh, I like that.
So hurry up and loop me, Mike.
Start getting me $85 an hour.
You gotta pay your wife $85. It's not really you.
That's fine. I'll give it all to the wife.
Again,
$85 an hour. She can have it. Also, okay. So we gotta start the end. Don't forget that we have episodes on Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday between the hour of 10 and 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. And on Wednesday between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Also, we have audio versions on Anchor FM, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasting needs. Don't forget that this month is October,
it is.
which means it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And as such, our charity is National Breast Cancer Foundation, which the link will be down below. We did them last year too, didn't we?
Yep.
We'll just keep doing them every October. Like that's you know.
Boys with dots every December.
Until they call us and tell us to stop. It was like, hey, could you guys like your dicks?
Wait, we can't promote
Or
awareness for breast cancer? We're putting your ass on blast.
That's what.
You're getting canceled, not us.
You're getting canceled.
We did the
not
right
us,
thing. Just like in December, we do Toys for Tots.
Right. Until they call and tell us not to.
DJ says tits for tots.
Tits for tots, yeah. He's 30. He's 76 months. That's 4.
4 years old. He's old enough.
So yes, don't forget it's breast cancer awareness month, and the foundation will be down below.
It is.
That's it. I think
That's all of it.
That's all I got. I just did
That's
it all.
the script, yeah.
That's the script.
I'm just here. I'm here to hit buttons.
I'm just running this shit. I got this. Like,
All right, I'm gonna.
toodaloo,
So
motherfuckers.
stay tuned. See you guys next week for our 150th episode.
Is it 150 already?
Tuesday.
Jesus.
This is 149.
Is it?
What are we gonna do for 150?
I didn't check.
And teaches as surprised as you guys.
That's it. I stay surprised.
Now you know. Now you gotta plan something for our 150th episode.
Even today's show, like it's just all in my head that you did it.
I didn't do damn thing.
All right, like I'm
just not good.
You know, I sent the news and forgot about it. Like I completely forgot about news that I sent you today. I didn't remember it at all. Not one bit.
It was at 10 a.m.
Yeah. I just looked through the news and got the morning news and was like, hey, look, this is all, we'll figure out what to talk about. And we didn't even, need to because we did 20 minutes of just bullshit on the way in. So, toodaloo, motherfuckers.
See you guys next week.